Everyone's terrified of letting AI write their emails. That's exactly why I built this. An automation that writes the email, then stops, waits for your approval before sending anything out. Here's the thing that nobody admits about AI automation. It's not that the AI can't write the email. We all know that it can. It's that you don't trust it enough to send the email as is. Imagine this flow. You have a contact form, a lead fills it out, the AI drafts the proposal, but maybe it gets your name wrong, it's got a weird tone, etc. And it's already gone before you ever saw it. This one fear is why most owners never automate the stuff that actually matters. So the question is, can I be in control while AI does this? It turns out you can. And the feature that makes this possible is the whole point of today's build. Let's dive in. Okay, so before we build this out, let's take a look at what that workflow will look like. So here I have a diagram that'll illustrate what we're trying to build. Human in the loop lead proposal flow, right? So we have a tally form which will capture information off the lead. We'll then extract all of the details. The AI, in this case we'll use Claude, will write the proposal email. It will just be plain text. And then once we receive that email, of course the email is sent to the business owner. We'll be able to review the email and have a choice to approve or deny. And after that, if it gets approved, the email automatically gets sent to the client. If it gets denied, the workflow stops. Let's go ahead and try to build this. All right, so we're back inside Visual Studio Code. You can see I have my Claude Code extension connected. It's got a nice clean folder structure. You'll see I've named this consulting firm proposal workflow. Feel free to pause here if you want to take a look at the prompt I already have on my screen. I'm going to shoot this off to Claude, and then let's see what Claude does, and I'll take you through this step by step. Okay, so this is actually identified that I've built this already. I did it, of course, before the video. So I'm just gonna say, give me a fresh, clean rebuild. Okay, so it's now asking me to make a few decisions. It says, where should the two HTTP endpoints run? Let's see if we can do this just within Trigger.dev. So it's now trying to see if Trigger.dev can host our URL. You'll see it's done a web search, but the trouble with the web search I run, I don't know if it's a problem just with me, but it just stops. It doesn't go forward. So let me just ask it whether it's actually still working. Shoot this off. So at this point, what it's trying to do is it's looking at the webhooks guides overview at Trigger.dev to see if this is even possible. The alternate route is just to host your URL somewhere. So say within Vercel, deploy it as an app, and that's where your URL will be live. So saying, since one HTTP service is unavoidable, how do you want to host it? So I'm just going to go with the first option, which says have one serverless function for the tally webhook, and it's the recommended one. So I'm just going to go with that. Another question, what should the AI drafted proposal email to the lead include? I'm just going to say tailored intro plus approach. How should the code be structured? I'm just going to say lean and consolidate. Okay, so it's just given me a data flow that starts with the tally or the webhook, the task drafts, the wait point, review email to me, the idle, the click, the resume behavior. And then it's saying, should I use Sonnet 4.5 as my AI agent? So just go through these. I think I'm fine with that. So I'm just going to go ahead and say yes. So you can see this is still in the planning phase. You don't see any folders or files that are building up on the left yet because it's still the planning phase. I assume that is what is going to happen next. You can see it's writing the spec doc now. Okay, so you can see it's actually written a spec doc. This is because I have the Superpowers skill. Very neat. Definitely try to have that with your own Claude Code setup. But it's going to be this doc that takes me through the goal, the tool stack, and other details, what the architecture is going to look like, what the file structure is going to look like. So it's also told me what kind of files I should expect this build to create. So you can go through this, but I'm just going to go ahead and approve this and say go ahead. So now that the plan is approved, it's going to move to implementation. This is where the magic starts. Okay, so it's asking me for 2 execution options. Should I go for the sub-agent driven, which is the recommended one? I'm just going to go with that, which means there's sub-agents that are going to be deployed to work on the different tasks that it's identified in this particular document. And this is again coming from the Superpowers skill, which I recommend everyone should have. So once you have that installed is when you'll have this particular feature where you can deploy sub-agents. There are other ways to do this as well, but with Superpowers, you get that built in. And of course, you have the option to choose whether you want to go with that. So that makes it even more customized. So it's now going ahead and going to go down this to-do list that it's created. First one is the project scaffold, domain types, the tally, webhook parsing, and etc. Going down right up to the Vercel configuration and the deployment docs. So it's now dispatching the task 1 implementer, which will be its own sub-agent. In the meanwhile, what I've gone ahead and done is I've created this form at Tally, which is basically a very simple form. That's an intake form. It asks very basic questions: name, company name, email address, budget, and the project that I have in mind. So this is the form that a lead would potentially fill out. And once we click submit is when our automation would begin. Of course, we've got to set all of this up, but this is something, of course, that you would need to have ready. You could even do it later, but this is what we're going to start our automation with. So you can see as it's creating these files, you have on the left panel getting populated with the files that these sub-agents are writing. Okay, so it's now moved on to task 2 after task 1 is complete. So while it is going through these tasks, I do want to let it know that I have the tally form ready and I'm going to give it my URL. It would probably have asked this information to me at some point in its execution, but I just want to get ahead of the curve. So it says it's acknowledged that it knows about the tally form and it's continuing on with its to-do list. Okay, so just wanted to bring you guys up to speed. It's on to task 6. What it just finished was the proposal prompt, the draft parsing, and the open router wrapper. One thing you'll see here is that for the quality review, which is task 6, this is the prompt that it's giving to that sub-agent, asking it to do a code quality review. And all of this again is coming from that Superpower skill. While this continues to run, what I also wanted to show you is that you of course will need to have an API key for Trigger.dev, right? So I am inside this. What you've basically got to do is create a new token, name it, and then click on create token. Once you do that, you'll be able to then use this API key in the project that we are currently building. The other thing that you'll need is the Gmail app password. So go to this URL that says myaccount.google.com/app-passwords. And this is a place where you can create a new password. So think of a password as a way for you, think of it like an API key for Gmail. So when you're doing a code automation, unlike N8N, and if you're aware of N8N, we fill out the Gmail node with OAuth, client ID, etc. for that app. This just allows you to basically have like an API key that you can use to be able to access your own Gmail. So you'll see I've created one here for the Trigger workflow. What you've got to do is just give it an app name, click on create, and you'll basically get a string of alphanumeric digits, numbers, letters. Just copy that and then we'll use that in the workflow. Okay, so it looks like it's finally finished. All 10 tasks completed, all of the tests that it performed also completed. It says it could not do 2 steps. It's given me a deployment.md file, which basically contains the deployment plan on what to do next. But I first got to fill out the .env file. So let me look at the .env example file first. As you'll see, it has the project reference number for the Trigger.dev, Trigger.dev's API key, Open Router's API key. The model we're going to use is Sonnet 4.5. The Gmail app password is the one we would have created for Gmail, and that's it. So I'm going to open up the actual .env file and fill this up now. So for the project reference number, I'm inside Trigger.dev. I'm going to click here. I've already created this, but let me show you live. I'm going to click on create a new project. Okay, so I've filled out the details. My new project is going to be called Test Live. I'm going to hit create, and it looks like we are inside test live. And you'll see for the setup, if I go back to my .env file for a second, you'll see it's the one that starts with proj_, and this is where it resides within Trigger.dev. So I'm just going to copy this. I pasted it inside the .env file. I'm gonna next fill in the remainder of these details, and once that's done, I'll get back. All right, so I've filled out the details. I'm gonna ask it to go ahead and run the smoke test. So it asked me to fill out my Gmail address, which I'd forgotten to do in the .env file, and that's all set now. What I've now asked it to do is host this code in a local server. And what we'll do is we'll point our tally form to this local host server so that we can test the workflow finally. So it's now given me a URL for my local server. It's asking me to point my tally form to this URL. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go to integrations for the form that I created. I'm going to click on webhooks, connect, and then paste the URL and say connect. So you'll see it's now live and my form is pointed to our code. So I've filled out the actual form. These are the details. My budget is $5,000. I need a SaaS company dashboard build, and I'm gonna click submit. So let's go ahead and now check if we received the email. Okay, so you'll see this is the new email. Of course, it says it's a smoke test just because we're testing this out first. And you'll see that it says, thank you for reaching out, building a scheduling solution. Love to schedule a brief call with 20 minutes work. All of this is written for you, isn't it? And we have two options, approve and send or reject. Isn't this wonderful? So I'm gonna go ahead and approve and send and see what happens. Okay, so auto approve, the proposal email is on its way to the lead. Okay, so now you will see that the approved proposal has been sent to the client. In this case, it was just me. And we have found a bug. The bug is that even while sending it to the client, it gives the client the approve and send, which should not happen. So let's go back to Claude Code and fix this. Okay, so you'll see this prompt that I said that where I found the bug, and I have sent the message to it. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I guess I made a mistake. It did say that the proposal that was sent does not have the button. Okay, so let's go back to my Gmail and see what happened. So this is the email that I received. The one that I showed you earlier was from the smoke test that the code itself had run. And I mistakenly assumed that that was the one that I should have been reviewing. So this is the one that's currently being reviewed. See, it has the $5,000 budget. I'm going to click on approve and send. It's approved, and we'll see what happens now. All right, so here's the email. You'll see it doesn't have the buttons. So I was just looking at the wrong email, unfortunately. Feel free to pause here and read the email. I think it's really good. Of course, you can customize this per your law or your firm's requirements, but isn't this amazing? This gave me a way to control what the AI sends to the client. So now let's test out the workflow for the reject scenario. So you'll see this time my budget is $10,000. My company name is ROV Reject. Let me submit this. So you'll see now I've received the same email. I'm going to reject it this time. Nothing was sent. The run has ended, and there was no further action taken. Here's what surprised me building this. Everyone thinks that going from drag and drop, like with N8N, to code means giving up control, in the sense that you lose the visual, you can't see what's happening, and you need a developer to make a change. But it's actually backwards. That one page showed me every single step live. I could watch it pause, I could watch it resume, so that's it. A real automation that drafts the email and hands the decision back to you before anything goes out. AI did the work, but you stayed in control the entire time. That's the version of automation a business owner can actually trust. If this made the whole AI doing things behind your back fear feel a little smaller, subscribe. I'm building these in public, one workflow at a time, and showing exactly how they work so you can decide what fits your business. And if you know someone who's been too nervous to let AI near their clients, next up, I'm taking this approval idea and pointing it at a process that usually requires a full-time person. See you there. Take care.